Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I guess I'm in the mode of making videos now. As I'm heading to karate. I was thinking about BJJ. This is the area BJJ need to work on. First thing first, I'm a karateka practitioner for 13 years and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner for 8 years, so I have the resume to talk about this subject. The one thing I was watching Nate Diaz, and I can't think the other guy in the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight on Netflix is Nate or Nick Diaz, I'm sorry, I don't know which one. N Diaz. One thing that N Diaz was great at, is known for, is his striking and his ground game. In fact, he's a black belt, if I'm correct, in Gracie's Jiu-Jitsu. But he was trying to pull guard and he was trying to be on his back, and the guy just he just backed up. It's like, okay, stand up. And I saw Nate Diaz. I've been watching this dude for a long time. In his day, I don't know anybody that was more devastating striker. I mean, anybody who can go toe-to-toe with Conor McGregor, who I think is behind his prime too, but that's another day. But that guy he was just picking shots, punching, kicking, strike, but he did not stay in that man's guard. And that's the one area I would say Jiu-Jitsu struggle is, if they can't get close to you, it doesn't work, because Jiu-Jitsu is a close combat sport, right? It's not like Royce Gracie, which is actually my instructor's instructor. That's who his instructor is. That's a big league right there. But anyway, Royce Gracie, when you saw him just clean up everybody from UFC 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4, I can't remember. But because nobody really knew outside of Brazil and parts of the world, in California, the power of Jiu-Jitsu. They were like, what is Jiu-Jitsu? In the 80s and 90s, there was always karate movies and best of the best, but I ain't never say, oh my God, I can't wait to the BJJ movie. Nobody, it just wasn't popular. Then Royce Gracie just dominated, just an ordinary guy, like the gym teacher, just was destroying grown men that was 2 or 3 times his size. And I was like, whoa, because that was a big thing. I was watching this banned from TV on at Blockbusters, where they'll put, I remember they used to put UFC with the porn, and you can't, risky stuff. Not porn, but wherever the stuff regular people can't grab. But anyway, I was just like, man. But as everybody has involved and has added some type of ground game, Taekwondo, Muay Thai, everybody's just, is cross-training. It's cross-training. It's just not, if you're a stand-up striker, you cannot be a complete fighter without ground game. If you are a ground game practitioner, you're not complete until you add striking or grappling. Now, you're probably better of the two, but it depends on the perspective. I don't care who you are. You ain't taking down Mike Tyson in his prime, Jiu-Jitsu. That wasn't going to happen. That dude was so devastating. But for the rest of us, yeah, you can take down. And that, speaks to the power of jiu-jitsu, which is so amazing. But it's still vulnerable. You can still lose. So striking, grappling, you gotta add, jiu-jitsu to your game. And jiu-jitsu, you got first you gotta stop thinking that nobody else trained in the ground. Everybody's trained to the ground these days. But it doesn't work if you can't get close to them. If they clinch you and Muay Thai you to death, and they can learn how to get out of a half guard or a closed guard and stand back up, what do you got? Because once you start doing this and you realize this person keeps doing the same thing to me, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to get close to him. I'm going to create distance, sprawl, and make him fight my game. So, I've seen too many times, everybody cross-train. You got to be well-rounded in strike, throws, and take down ground fight. That's just the era we live in. 20 years ago, you could just do one art. And don't get me wrong, both my senseis are great in the striking, but I'm not blessed with their ability, or their knees or their legs or their body. I have to take all my weakness and shoulder tear and put it into what works for me at 49 years of age. And granted, jiu-jitsu is a huge superpower because I'm wrestling general wrestlers that are just in high school 2 years removed, and I'm still able to hold my own. So that tells you the power of ground game. But you gotta be well-rounded in everything. So, all right, guys, have a good one.